Hi, this is Dr. Beck. I'm finally getting caught up here. Sorry for the delay. This is a YouTube on going over the syllabus. So before we start, what I want you to do is go on to Canvas. You can reach me at my email. At mbeck@csun.edu. The Canvas course is this, of course, but you'll just go into your Canvas, pick the right course. And then we're going to, I'll go on in terms of how to register for the ebook and Inquisitive, another outside simulation exercise. And then also there will be recorded lectures, either from lectures I give on Zoom or pre-recorded beforehand, like this one. And this is we're going to kind of follow selected topics and basic biological concepts like evolution, ecology, heredity, organismal and cellular biology, cells, energy that cells use, all that kind of stuff. There's no lab. There is if you want it, but it's separate from what I'm doing. This course is designed primarily for students taking Biology 101 who are in health sciences. Okay. It's kind of what it looks like. And on Canvas, everything that you need to do is on Canvas. Almost everything, actually. But in terms of all your assignments, reading, the slides for each lecture, and we'll go through them. So you can get a copy of the slides under Biological Comedy. One slide per page is the first one, Biology 101-03. And 17310, FA20 Syllabus. Or you can get a notes page, 2 slides per page. And so put that up, and you can actually to PDF, and you can mark it up as you want while we're going through the syllabus. So it'll be a notes page. And then also there's going to be a YouTube of this that I'll post after we're done recording it. Or right here, this is the inbox for the Canvas inbox email as well. So here's what the Canvas page looks like. Let's go on. Course objectives. So we're going to get you to think about life on Earth from the perspective of its evolutionary history. In other words, it looks like there's evidence for life on this planet from about 3.7 billion years ago. We're also going to look at context in terms of where we fit in. Humans are part of rather than apart from the natural world. We evolved like all other living things from pre-existing lineages or lineages that were a common ancestor. We're going to go through everything from cells, cell replication, cell heredity, genetics, cell translation or genetic translation, and a number of other things. And then cellular metabolism, energy flow, and then we're going to get up into finally organisms and higher things like ecology. And we're going to use the scientific method, of course, and we'll go over that initially. So students will be able to demonstrate an understanding of basic knowledge, principles, and laws of natural science, and explain how the scientific method is used. And students will be able to recognize the contribution of potential of science in human society. Demonstrate competence applying methods, ability to use scientific knowledge and critically assess the real world issues and make sound decisions, and especially think about COVID-19 now, and we're going to go over what's going on with that, and one of the Symbio exercises is going to cover that. But you're going to have to make decisions in your life, especially if you're in the health sciences, where you have to understand certain things if you're going to talk to doctors and professionals and things like that. All the course materials are on Canvas. So Canvas for this course. We're going to use the eText Biology now. Okay. Which you'll be able to register for on Canvas. It's going to cost you, and this is when you register and pay for this, you also get all the assignments, inquisitive, and some other quizzes, and that all costs $48. And then finally, we're going to be using this Simutex software to kind of go over simulation exercises, so you get more in depth on these kinds of things that help you understand instead of just listening to me actually talk about it. So you're going to have to register for that. Also, you can register for that on Canvas. And there's going to be 4 different sections. How diseases spread, epidemiology explored, including COVID-19, Darwinian snails, which is evolution, Isle Royale, which is population biology, and there's going to be an extra credit one of these that you can or can't do. It's up to you on community ecology, keystone predators, and I'll show you where I'll sign up for that. So we'll get all on a Canvas how to sign up for all these things in a little bit later in this lecture. Okay, so lectures. Obviously, I'm going to give lectures online. Some of them will probably be, once I get it straightened out, how to do it on Zoom, where we can do it kind of live, or I'll do lectures that are kind of pre-recorded like this one is going to be. And for each lecture, you want to be kind of prepared. So you want to do the reading beforehand for those chapters. So each lecture will have, so that's downloading the lecture slides. Right, okay, let's see, Top Hat, oh, there's going to be quizzes. They're not Top Hat nowadays. There's going to be, they were going to be in-class quizzes. I'll figure out how to do them. So they're not much part of your grade, just to make sure you're keeping up. And then there's going to be, for each lecture, there's going to be a video of it, either from the live class on Zoom, or the pre-recorded lecture that I'm doing, kind of like what's going on right now. Oh, and these are the quizzes I mentioned. Okay, and we can see this. So, for example, Chapter 1, you're going to do the ebook, and you're also going to do the assignments. Inquisitive for Chapter 1. It tells you when it's due. Well, hold on. And an infographics quiz for Chapter 1 and reading quiz for Chapter 1. They're all due on the 6th. So you'll have some time next week to do them. There's also animations that we'll be using, and this little video that you should probably watch. And finally, for each lecture, there will be handouts right here. And these are PDFs of the slides. And in this case, there's going to be 3 slides per page. So these will be ready before you actually are looking at the lecture, whether it's a pre-recorded lecture or live. And so you can print those out and then take notes on them as you're listening to the lecture. And then, of course, you can stop and start the lecture if it's a pre-recording, and then that'll help you later on for studying. There's also some other things for that chapter on there, like there's a little video on Richard Feynman, who was a Nobel laureate, things like that. Its own chapters, and sometimes a certain chapter will take 2 lectures. I said beforehand. Okay. Now, so we're using ebook Biology Now, reading and assignments. It's version 2E with Inquisitive. And you're going to have to register for this. So it's fairly simple. And so you register on Canvas. Don't buy the ebook and everything from online, from let's say Amazon or anything like that. You do it through Canvas course. Okay, and usually there'll be 1 or 2 chapters each week that are due, and there'll be 3 assignments for each chapter. So there'll be the inquisitive assignment, and then the reading quiz and the infographics quiz. And they all have to be done by a certain time period for each week. You go to Canvas, and if you click on how to use Inquisitive right here, it will take you to a video that will show you how to register for the ebook and for all the assignments. And that's going to cost $48. I showed you, this is where you get it. Okay. Oh, that's not, no, not, I don't want you to watch, hold on a second. Not this. I want you to watch this. How to access Inquisitive. That's where you'll actually register and pay and all that. Okay? And then how to use Inquisitive is something that you should go through. It'll show you how to use Inquisitive, and the you know, when you're going through it, this is one of the assignments. Okay? And then the ebook is right there. You're paying for that as well, and you can read that and then do the assignments. Okay. The exams. There's 3 exams. They're worth 3 midterms, worth 45 points each. And then there's a final worth 65 points each. So the exams are 200 out of 400, which is 50%. The midterms have 50 multiple choice, and it will only cover the chapters that were assigned since the previous exam. There will also be a final exam. That's going to be, let's see. Each midterm, I'll give you like 90 minutes to do. The final, you'll get 2 hours or 2 hours and 30 minutes, I think. And the midterm will have 75 multiple choice. 50 will cover the last number of chapters on physiology. And so all that stuff that's new, that's 50 questions. And then there will be 25 questions covering from the rest of the semester as cumulative. Like I said, there's a study guide for each. And then for the final exam, I mean for the exams. And in terms of what we're doing at a certain time, you'll see that at the end of this syllabus, there's a kind of blow by blow what we'll be covering. The exam will be, I'll make it available for a certain period of time. If you can't make it at that time, we'll make a makeup for exam for you. But you have to get in touch with me beforehand, unless you're deathly ill. Okay. You have to take these exams separately by yourself. You can't get a bunch of people together and do them. Okay. So, so like this is a midterm exam. This is wrong. Oops. So for example, so this is on Canvas, midterm 1, chapters 1 through 6. Midterm 2 will be like chapters 7 through 10. And then midterm 3 will be 11 through, I think, 17 or something like that. So there will be a study guide for each midterm. Okay? In other words, you'll be able to, it'll show exactly what we're covering on that exam. And the questions include stuff covered in lecture as well as on Inquisitive and stuff you read in the book and all that kind of stuff. Exam. There will also be the different slides that I'm using and the lectures that will be used, the recorded lectures, and for studying. So you can just go, and the study guide for the first exam is, so midterm exam 1, it's actually following chapter 6. So you'll go at the bottom of chapter 6, you go a little bit further, there'll be the midterm exam. The second midterm will be following chapter 10. Okay? So these are the various things that you're going to need. So the Symbio Summutext exercises that I mentioned, Epidemiology Explored, Darwinian Snails, Isle Royale, they will all have specific, okay, let's see, oh, there's 4 of them, actually 3 count, and then there's 1 extra credit of 20 points, which is basically 5% of your grade. So that'll help you. Each simulation is worth 32 points. When you sign up, this is a little bit wrong. You won't be doing this. You'll be doing this one instead. It's $24, so $6 for each exercise. You have to download the program. It's either going to be on a Mac version or a Windows computer version, depending on what kind of computer you have. You can't use a tablet or a smartphone or load it onto that. It doesn't work. It has to be on a laptop or a desktop. Each assignment has a due date. So when you sign up, okay. When you do the assignment, when you start on it, you don't have to do the whole assignment. Let's say Darwinian snails. Start on it, like Darwinian snails. I think there's 6 sections. The last one is graded questions, and the other 5 sections are going through the simulation, and you have to completely complete that. So don't wait until the last minute to sign up and begin the first assignment. They're divided into sections. You don't have to do them all at once, but you can do sections or parts of sections whenever you want. The program will keep track of where you left off, and then when you're finally finished, it'll actually show you if you've done everything and you're set to go. So it'll record your answers, and you can pick up where you left off. Now, this is very important. There are basically the simulation sections, like let's say sections 1 through 5. On different aspects of, let's say, Darwinian snails on evolution. When you go through this, you can't just say, oh, okay, and forget about doing it. You actually, to get credit, you have to do everything it asks you to do. And these are basically ungraded questions or fill-ins or things like that. And if you answer all of them, but you don't have to answer them correctly, you just have to answer them, that will count for 80% of your grade, and if you do that, you can't get worse than a B. So as long as you work through all the exercise and answer all the questions and do everything the simulation asks you to do when you're running that program for that exercise, you have to answer everything. You will get credit for it as long as you answer everything. When you're done, it will show you, it'll usually list, oh, you didn't answer this question or whatever, and you could go back and answer that. And then the last part, the last section for each exercise, is the graded questions. And the graded questions are worth 20%. Those you actually have to answer correctly. There'll be 10 of them. So if you do the whole simulation, and then finally, so you've got the B out of the way, you've answered everything, and you do the graded questions, however many you get is added onto the score. So anything above that will be, from 80% to 100%. So you can register for Symbio. Right here. Okay. If you have problems downloading it or signing up, or if things didn't record or whatever, go to Simutech support. Type that in. And you can ask for help. They will all have throughout, actually, on Canvas. It'll show when they're due. Okay, so you have to get them done by that time period. For registration, right here. So this is biological comedy. You go Symbio registration. You click on that, and it will take you to a site, and you will pay, and you will download the program. Okay, and then it'll show up here just when each assignment is due. You don't have to do it all at once. It takes a couple of hours, so you can, on Canvas. So it says Symbio registration, click on register, and it will take you to the site, and you will sign up for it, pay for it, and it will let you then download the program, and the program is already set up. You can start working on them anytime you want. But I think the first one is actually going to be, it's going to be Darwinian snails. No, this is wrong. I'll have to change that. These due dates are all wrong. The first one is going to be October 18th, November 8th, November 22nd, and then the extra credit at the end of the semester. Actually, it'll be the 13th that you can turn it in, December 13th. Okay, so the course grade is going to cover 3 midterms and a final, and for all that, that's 50% of the grade. Okay. As you can see, I've changed a few things. The first midterm covers chapters 1 through 6. So not just including chapter 3. Then chapter 2, midterm 2, 7 through 10. And then midterm 2, it's changed a little bit. Chapters 11 through 14 and 17 through 19. And then the final exam, it'll be the last sections, chapters 20 through 25. And then that'll be 50 questions. And then cumulative, another 25 questions covering previous stuff we covered the rest of the whole semester. Okay. Chapter assignments, inquisitive assignments, chapters 1 through 14, 17 through 25. They're worth 40 points. Reading quiz, 40 points. The infographics quiz, 16 points. Some bio exercises, 96 points total. Each worth is 32 points. And then an extra credit one. Not Top Hat. It's but in-class quiz. 2% for a total of 400 points or 100%. And then you can see the grade breakdowns below. If you need to withdraw, the first 3 weeks you can withdraw anytime you want, but you have to make sure that you go to admissions and records and change showing that you're actually dropping that class. After that, from the 4th week on, you need a really good excuse. In other words, not just you're falling behind, you're not doing well, whatever it is, but let's say you get sick or someone in your family gets sick, whatever. And then when you do that, you actually have to go fill out some forms for the university. And so I'll sign it and someone else will sign it, and otherwise you can't do that. Okay? Okay. There's accommodations for people with disabilities, and let's say, for example, you need more time on exams or other assignments, things like that. You can sign up for those at that web address right there. And then academic dishonesty, in other words, you have to do everything by yourself. Now, the thing is, the exams, definitely by yourself. The acquisitive assignments or the symbio exercises, if you want, you can get together, each with your own computer, and go through it yourselves, because that way it might help people out a little bit, or not. I don't care, but no cheating. And then study tips. Read what's supposed to be read each week before coming to class, or being ready for all the different lectures. Use a lecture, well, let's see, so you're taking notes, and then if you have any questions, let's see, you can identify things that you might want to ask me about through either Zoom. We can set up a Zoom appointment, or we can just email. Do assignments on time. You can, well, we're not coming to my office, that's for sure. Okay. But we can set up office hours or times to go over stuff using a Zoom. Let's see. No, this is not all that important. Equity and diversity. Issues of freedom of speech, discrimination, sexual violence, all that. You can contact Office of Equity or the director, Susan Hua. So, trigger warnings. Free speech. So we're going to cover things that might make certain people uncomfortable. Let's say sex. Obviously, sex is part of sexual reproduction as part of biology. So I'm going to be covering that, and I just want you to know beforehand. I'll try not to say anything that's inappropriate, or at least not terribly inappropriate. And just so you know, and then gender discrimination, you can report anything there. Okay, and then this is the weekly schedule. So, let's see, Nature of Science and Applying Science, chapters 1 and 2 this week. I'll get at least one of those, maybe that, I'll get that set up for this weekend. And then we'll be covering chemistry and all this. So you can see the first midterm isn't due until the week of September 20th. And then midterm 2, midterm 1, the 20th, week of October, it'll be October 15th, I think, or whenever during that week. It also shows when symbios are due, Darwinian snails, Isle Royale, all that, okay? And then finally, the final exam and extra credit for keystone predators. I'm going to make a copy of this YouTube and post it on Canvas. And I'll send out an announcement and all that.